The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, welcome to Ring and All Other Sports. My name is Leo Connors. I'm your host, along with my co-host, Derek Dukes. And tonight, we're taping a little late. We're taping May 4th at 8:15 p.m., which is usually not a time for us.
8:15 p.m.
Derek just got out of work. I've been out of work since 2:30. Usually, I'm on the couch getting ready to go to sleep. But we're going to get right into it. We talked about Cold Fury a couple weeks ago, and Cold Fury 15, Unbreakable. So we'd like to give the results real quick. The show was at Catholic High School, Lowell Catholic High School, and King Elia Markopoulos had a King's Court challenge.
Oh, Elia, I'm sorry. I'm so used to his original. You know,
what was it?
He played it was a soccer gimmick.
Oh, okay.
He was he had longer hair too.
Right.
Had longer hair, and I can't for the life of me remember.
He's pretty good, man.
Good.
I think
he's also the kid that went to the TNA gimmick.
Yes. And he's definitely, he works really good. And in the end, it was a bunch of guys in the match. Mikey Webb ended up winning. He defeated Adam Booker, Travis Air Gordon, Elia, who actually got pinned, and Christian Casanova and Sean Burke. I haven't seen Sean Burke work in a long time.
He's back?
Yeah. Last time I seen him actually was probably a year or two ago at the Art of Wrestling in Haverhill.
Oh, it had to be a year or so ago that I saw him at NECW.
Wow. Yeah, it's been a while. He's a big boy.
Yeah, he is a big kid.
Real big.
Good worker, though.
Oh,
Great worker.
Absolutely.
Good worker.
Absolutely. That match must have been good because those kids, all of them guys can work. Mikey Webb's great. Adam Booker, who I haven't seen in years. I haven't been to a Chaotic show in a long time, and I really need to get to them because I've always enjoyed going to their shows.
Right.
And Adam Booker, Travis Gordon, Flip, I mean, he's incredible. Christian Casanova really impressed me last time I saw him at Lucky Pro Wrestling.
Good worker.
Oh, Isaiah loves him, too. But that kid can work, and he's getting bigger, too. Like more muscular.
Yeah.
You know, he was a little thinner on when he first started out. But that looked like it was a good match. We weren't at the show, just so you know, so we're just trying to give the results, seeing that we talked about the show. Brick Mastone defeated Brian Fury, Firebrand Brian Fury.
Good.
Yeah. Donovan Dijak defeated Brian Malonis with the stipulation that Brian Malonis must leave Chaotic Wrestling. He's been there for six years at least, probably more.
How long has Chaotic been around?
A while, dude. Over 10. Over 15, right?
It's over 50.
Over
it's 15. So
Brian's with them way longer than 6.
Oh, yeah, it has to be.
10?
Let's call it that.
Yeah.
Seriously,
wow.
Definitely.
And I just can't believe he's all done with Chaotic Wrestling. Hopefully he'll come back down the line somewhere.
You never know. Maybe it's a shoot. Maybe it's a real shoot that maybe it's time to give it up at a certain age, which is true. I mean, I'm 42 now.
Right.
But I haven't been active in years.
Right.
You know, when ECW went out of business in 2001, and we all went out in the street pretty much, and you go through independence, and you work for one of the big three at the one time. I mean, literally, there was WWF, WCW, and ECW.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And when you're there at the top of the world, and you know that you're better than that other product, WCW, of course, our product for what we did.
I'd rather watch ECW than anything. That's the truth.
And that's a shoot. I know it is. And I know you're saying that because I'm here.
Yeah, but you know it. I told you before. I loved it. Loved it.
You know, when I finally got involved with ECW, man, that's why I told you, and I've told everybody, that in the WWF locker room, a lot of clicks, a lot of BS, a lot of this, a lot of that, a lot of backstabbing. There was no backstabbing, no clicks in ECW. You know why? Because we all did the same thing. We didn't care about this or care about that. We went in the back room. If you're working this person or working this person, this is what we do. This is what we're going to do. And we always tried to play the heel / baby gimmick. Yeah. But it was ECW. Right. No one was a real heel. Right. Nobody was a real baby. You just fought.
Everybody was popular.
That's what I mean. How many times did Sabu come out as a heel, but the place erupted because of him?
Yeah.
Or the Dudleys.
Yeah.
Dudleys were notorious for starting riots.
Yeah. Remember we talked about that last week off the air. I watched that Heat Wave incident again. I love watching
I mean, literally, New York wanted to kill them.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Oh,
people
yeah.
wanted to kill the Dudleys, but but still, even as when they were babies,
Right.
which was very rare in ECW,
Yeah.
when they were bad guys, let's use the terminology, people still cheered the hell out
Oh,
of them.
yeah, of course they did.
Unless they were going against a tag team that was more of a baby.
Right.
But you'd still get your
Oh,
mixed stuff, so on and so forth. But it's a different concept nowadays with the kids, and it's a little bit harder to get into the wrestling business now.
Right.
A lot harder, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, a lot harder.
Yeah. There's not as many places to go.
No, there isn't. And I appreciate people like, for instance, Spike Dudley.
Yeah.
Spike Dudley has a school.
Right.
You know, Jose
Perez.
is doing a
Right
great
down in Rhode Island with Mike Bennett.
doing a great job
Yep.
down there. I'd like to see that. The Dudleys still have their school in Orlando.
Right.
The Wild Samoans have theirs in Florida. You'd like that.
Kurt Hawkins and Pat Buck
Up-
down in New York and Jersey. They got the two schools.
See, that's what I mean. And
Right.
at least there's schools to go to.
Yeah.
But at least if you go and work, for a name.
Yeah.
Like if you're working for the Samoans,
Yeah.
you're always going to get looked at.
Right.
Because you have people like Haku who are always there. Rock's mom is at every show.
Right.
And what's her name? Nia Jax?
Yeah, Nia Jax, yeah.
Nia used to sit in the front row with Rock's mom and watch all the shows.
Right. Don't forget Booker T's. Booker T's wrestling, too. I mean, his guys are going to get looked at.
That's down in Texas.
Yeah.
And the Boogeyman
Yep.
is one of his head trainers.
Right.
So that is the best part about that. But I really do give kudos to these guys for trying their hardest.
Right.
Because you got people like Sasha Banks.
Yeah. Chaotic has put a few guys in.
You better believe it.
In the big time,
You
too.
better believe it, you know.
Absolutely.
So at least they're doing their thing.
Right.
They're killing it to do their thing. Donovan Dijak.
Yeah.
You know
One
what I mean?
of the hottest independent wrestlers going
Definitely.
right now.
Definitely.
And the match I saw him against at Beyond Wrestling with Chris Dickinson was incredible until it got ruined like we talked about last
Right.
week. What a match.
Yep.
But Brian Malonis, if you're all done, thanks for the entertainment. You really are a great worker. I've totally enjoyed watching you. And you definitely were a good heel.
Definitely.
So next up, we had the Chaotic Wrestling Tag Team Championship as the Pride of Lowell, the Logan Boys. Matt and Brian defeated JT Dunn and Warbeard Hanson. I bet you that was a good match.
JT Dunn.
Yeah, he's been coming up
Yeah.
for Chaotic for the last few shows. And
That's,
he's a great worker.
wow, putting those two together.
Small guy, like in
Mhm.
height, but
Right.
man, can he work?
Yeah, that's putting those two together. That's
Yeah, Juicy Warbeard, something like that. They said it. I didn't write all that stuff down. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
it definitely would have been a great match in my eyes because, like I said, I love the Logan brothers. They're awesome. Matt, if I'm not mistaken, went to school with my Elizabeth. So
Okay.
Matt must be 29 going on 32.
And we both know Hanson, hometown boy.
Yes, hometown boy. You
You
gotta
know,
love him.
Another one which I apologize for not giving kudos to from that part of it because we're very proud of him also.
Oh, absolutely.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
Yes.
And if you, I don't know if you even heard or remember, but when Todd got his shot over at NXT, that's why he grew the beard. And what happened was the beard was his new thing and so on and so forth. They were actually going to put him with the Wyatts.
Wow, he would have fit right
Are
in.
you kidding me?
Wow.
It would have been perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad with where he is right now.
Right,
And
right.
I'm excited for him, and kudos to him again.
He just was over in England.
I know, and you believe that? He
Yeah.
did that whole course over there. God bless him.
That's
Good
awesome.
job. And can you imagine if he would have jumped on that and grabbed the Wyatts?
Right. Oh, yeah.
Because Bray was already growing it in, and when Todd went over there,
Right.
he already had the beard going. They were like,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, that would have been great.
But kudos to Todd.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And, real quick, while we're talking about Todd, too, is, all the injuries that he's had.
Yes.
Lesser men would have quit.
In a minute.
Not Todd.
In a minute.
You know what I mean? I
Yep.
said that to him. I posted it on Facebook.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Really, and I mean that.
Mhm.
Lesser men would have quit,
Would have
but
just
not him.
would have just stopped
And
doing
look
it.
at him now, and
Yep.
that's why it's so great, even more, to see how good he's doing,
Yeah.
knowing what he's battled through.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll keep going on with this Cold Fury 15 unbreakable results. Then we had the Chaotic Wrestling New England Championship as Brandon Locke with Adam Barasano defeated that guy, Scotty Slade. And guess who Scotty had in his corner?
Had to be Mr. Friendship himself, right?
Nope.
What do you mean?
Damn.
Oh,
Ron
that's right.
Simmons.
That's right.
Yep,
Ron
remember
was
he
in
was at
town.
the show, yep.
That's right.
But it was Brandon defeated via disqualification, so Ron must have did something.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Adam did something, got away with it.
They made it look
first.
the other way.
Yeah.
Right.
I really wish I went. I got to go to more chaotic shows. It's just tough, you know, with the life I live with Nicole. It's just hard to get out to shows all the time.
Right.
But then in the chaotic wrestling women's title, and I apologize if I say your name wrong, Daviani defeated Alexis, the double X Diva, for the title. So she won the title.
Oh, Alexis was the champion.
Alexis was the champ.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And then in the main event for the Chaotic Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, the champion Chase Del Monte defeated Mark Sherman to retain the Chaotic Wrestling title. Seeing we're on talking about Chaotic, they got a show coming up on Friday called Chaotic Countdown.
What's the date on that show?
Is Friday, May 6th.
May 6th.
And this is the 4th.
Okay.
So 2 days from now. And it's going to be at the Lawrence Elks on Andover Street in Lawrence.
Okay.
Which is where Isaiah lives in Lawrence. Maria's from Lawrence, too.
Right.
But so far that they've announced matches, Firebrand Brian Fury taking on TK Orion.
Ooh.
That's going to be good because TK's come a long way.
Yes, he has.
You know?
Looks good, too.
Absolutely.
Looks real good.
Brick Mastone is taking on Ace Romero. I seen Brick once. Pretty good. I saw him at the Lucky Pro Wrestling show. He impressed me. I don't know Ace Romero, though, at all. I'm sorry.
I'm sure you're good.
Yeah.
Look him up.
Definitely look him up.
Definitely.
We'll let you know maybe next week how everything went.
Definitely look him up.
Elia Markopoulos taking on Mr. Remarkable, Adam Booker. That ought to be a good match.
That'd be a good match.
And the main event is a 30-man chaotic countdown. And these are the guys that so far that they've announced in it. Brian Fury, Christian Casanova, Eli Markopoulos, JT Dunn, Mikey Webb, and more. The winner gets a chaotic wrestling title match.
Okay.
Also scheduled to appear on the show are the Hoods. Now I know Chris Pyro was the guy that I couldn't remember.
Pyro.
Remember I said
Yes.
Davey Cash?
Yes.
So sorry about that last week, Chris. But the Hoods are going to be there. Chris Pyro, Davey Cash, Scotty Slade, the Mill City Hooligans, the tag team champs, the Logan Brothers, Matt and Brian, Chase Del Monte, and some Platinum World Tour, Ray Lynn, Dylan Bostic with this girl called Ray Lynn.
Let's look him up.
Yeah, I actually saw a picture of him. Dylan's got blonde hair. Ray Lynn's kind of short. Pretty girl.
Okay.
But now I want to move over to the New England Championship Wrestling Show, which is going to be Saturday, May 7th. It's also it's called Double Intensity.
Okay.
It's an appreciation night as kids under 12 are just $5 with a paying adult.
Good deal.
That's a real good deal.
Good deal.
Sheldon, you're doing good
Yes.
things over there.
Yes, he is.
You've been doing good things with.
You know what? He's been
for a
doing
long
good
time.
things for a long time.
Wicked
you
long
know,
time.
And being a friend of Sheldon's, he always he reminds me a lot of. He's the very calm Paul Heyman.
Okay.
You know, he's definitely the mad scientist,
Right.
and that's why they call him the Doctor of Pro Wrestling. Because he does, can't throw anything by him that he does not know or remember.
Right.
So he does a great thing over there at ECW, brings a lot of guys up, has helped a lot of guys move forward to NXT, so on and so forth, and helping, you know, the kids do what they do. Of course, a lot of the NECW guys train over at the Bell Time Club.
Oh, okay.
The Bell Time Club is pretty much like their school.
Yep.
So if you want to be a professional wrestler, so on and so forth, you go to the Bell Time Club.
Right.
I believe it's in Wakefield, Massachusetts.
Wakefield, yes.
You can look up the Bell Time Club if you want to.
Bo, Pat.
Bo Douglas,
Yep.
the Dynasty Bo Douglas, one of the best indie wrestlers ever. Big kid, always does a great
awesome.
job.
Great guy, too.
And Pat Dillon, of course, another owner. Jason Rumble come out of there, of course.
Yep.
So that's where a lot of the NCW guys train / that's where they come from to be bred for that. So kudos to Sheldon. Definitely kudos to Pat and Bo for what they do.
Yep.
You know, for running the school over there, doing their thing, and just keep bringing stars up. That's what we do.
Exactly. And he's had a lot of stars work his shows. A lot.
Ever.
Prototype, who turned out to be John Cena.
Right.
I could go on and on and on, but I'm sure when Sheldon is going to be a guest on the show, he was scheduled a few weeks ago, but he was in the hospital.
Yes, get
well. Yep. So we are going to have him on. We'll definitely have to talk to him about all the big stars he's had on the show. But so far, the matches that have been announced is former NECW champion Slick Wagner Brown is going to take on sensational Scott LeVick with Miss Sammy Lane. And Sammy Lane's cute.
Yep.
That's all I'll say
Yep.
about it. She really is. That's going to be a good match, too. Scott's a good work. I haven't seen him wrestle in a while.
Yeah.
Slick's one of my favorites.
Always
too.
one of my
Always has
favorites.
been one.
You know, Slick, of course, from the original NWA New England,
right?
With Tony Rumble.
Yeah, the 2K Club.
The 2K
Jason
Club,
and
him and
Luis
Jason
Ortiz.
Lewis Ortiz. It's when Jason was Jason Rage, and of
Yes.
course,
Yep.
the true Jason Rumble. Back, like I said, back in the NWA days with all them, and Slick's one of the best. Of course, the Underground King, because he's been. You know what kills me about Slick? Look at if you Google Slick Wagner Brown and look at his matches. Samoa Joe, AJ Styles.
Wrestled everybody.
He has been from here. Matter of fact, I think one of his best matches was with Claudio, a.k.a. Cesaro.
Yeah.
That was one of his best matches.
Wow. I believe
And of
it.
course, Joe brought him to the brink of right to the edge too.
Right.
So Slick has been with all these guys. Hey, WWE.
Yeah.
Slick Wagner Brown, look him up, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
You guys are missing out on a talent. You really are.
Absolutely. Slick is great.
Definitely.
Another match they've announced is the new World Women's Wrestling Champion, Nikki Valentine, is going to defend her title against the former champion and one of my favorite women wrestlers, Mistress Belmont.
Oh, my God, Kathy. She's
in a return match.
the best.
She's
Kathy is
incredible.
one of the best.
And we talked about this guy a little while ago, a couple shows ago, and the special guest referee is going to be Daviani, again from the Chaotic Show.
Oh, okay.
But Paul Richards, the general manager of NECW, made that stipulation, so it should be a wild match.
Right.
And then next, the new NECW tag team champs, the Regulators, Jack Maverick and Brute Van Slyke. I know Jack. Jack
Listen,
can work.
took a clothesline from this guy.
Yeah.
Okay? Not fun. He's a monster.
He is
I mean,
a
I'm
monster.
not a small guy.
I know you're not.
But he's an animal.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And he was flipping out one night in the ring. I don't know if it was a work or a shoot, truthfully, but they told me to go in there. When I ran in, I was kind of like, come on, man. This kid hit me. And like I said, I'm only 5'5", but I'm 215 pounds.
Right.
But I'm no slouch. When that kid hit me, man, he hit me with everything he had, and I was just on the mat with my chest, literally hit me square in the chest,
Right.
perfectly with the clothesline. Yeah. And this is a shoot, man. He got me good. And I just remember looking up, like, I thought I hit by a truck.
Right.
That's how hard I got hit.
Guess what? He's as big as a truck.
He's definitely as wide as a truck, but I definitely give kudos to that kid because he's a great worker. Definitely on his game for what he's, wanting to do.
Right.
And, even as a heel.
Right.
Because he's always been heel.
Yeah, I've never seen him as a face.
No, and he does a great job.
And he's teaming with Brute Van Slyke. I'm sorry, Brute. I'm not familiar with it, but again, we're going to look you up.
Look him up, definitely.
But they're managed by James Maddox, and they're going to be defending the titles against Alex North and the Canadian giant Genesis.
Oh.
I've seen Genesis twice.
Well,
on video.
You know who Genesis is? That's Kathy's brother.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is,
That's interesting.
Excuse me.
Mistress
It's
Belmont's
brother.
Wow.
Yeah. He's by the way, if you look him up,
He is a big dude.
he's a hardcore guy.
Oh, really? When I seen him,
Oh
he was a little hardcore in the match I saw.
Google this guy. He's a maniac.
I've only seen 2 matches of him. I was pretty impressed.
He's a big boy.
Right.
He's a hardcore guy.
Yep.
He's very impressive.
Nice.
Very impressive.
Well, the NECW television champion, Toto Loco, is going to defend his title.
Champion, huh?
Yeah. He's going to defend his title against former champ, and I'm glad we get to say his name again, the Heat, Chris Pyro.
Yes.
That's going to be a good match. Chris is a smaller guy. I mean, they both are smaller guys. Loco's a little thicker.
Yeah.
But Chris can work, man. When I saw the Hoods at the Beyond show,
Yep.
they really impressed me. I hadn't seen them in a long, long time, and I'll tell you, they've gotten so much better. Not that they were bad. I'm not saying that, but just like when I saw them this last time, man, they really impressed me. Davey's got the bat, the do-rag around their heads. It's a good little gimmick.
Good gimmick. I like that.
And in the main event, we got the masshole Mike McCarthy, who I know you're a huge fan of.
Yeah.
And I like Mike, too.
Definitely.
He's a very good wrestler. He puts his title on the line in a rematch from last October against the pure talent Chris Escobar.
Did you say McCarthy's the champion?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's been the champ for a little bit. I think he won it maybe 3 shows ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Something like that.
Good for you, Mikey.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah, good.
He really is.
Good worker.
And I love his gimmick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How can you not?
Exactly. How can you go?
How can
go
you
wrong doing
not
that? Right.
love a masshole?
Right. Exactly.
Listen,
I'm one.
Born and raised in Lynn. You know what I mean?
Lowell,
That's
Massachusetts.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
So how can you not love a masshole?
Right.
Excuse me. How can you not love a masshole?
Right.
So hell yeah, that's
Where's
great.
Mike from? Do you know?
You know,
I really don't know.
I really don't know much about him on a personal level.
Right.
I just know watching.
I'm going to look that up.
We definitely should. I've spoken with him a few times.
Yeah.
Especially over in VCW.
Yeah.
When he did his thing over there, he was the champion over there for a while. But he definitely is one of the best indie guys going.
I think so too.
On this side. Yeah. He does a great job in his whole thing about him. Whether another guy, whether he is a baby or a heel, he takes it to 110%.
Oh, absolutely.
And plays.
He plays
that
both
gimmick.
Great.
Unbelievable.
Speaking of real quick about Mike McCarthy, you know who I'm really impressed with lately is Vinny Marsaglia. Is that how you say it? He's got tattoos everywhere. Ink Sanity. You don't know Vinny?
No,
I've watched him a few times, and I'll tell you, he reminds me of Randy Orton. He's taller.
He works for.
Right now he's working for a bunch of different pros.
Okay.
He actually just had a title match in Rhode Island for Ring of Honor's last show this past weekend against Jay Lethal.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about, right?
I just saw that.
Yeah, he can work.
He's an animal, that kid.
And he was very thin a few years ago, which a lot of wrestlers are.
That's how they start.
But man, he got so much. I hadn't seen him in like 3 years. I went from Bangton, and he, like I said, he really does remind me of Randy Orton.
So that's who that was.
Yeah, he's awesome.
That was,
he's awesome.
He did a great job. Jay Lethal is actually a personal friend of mine, so it's really hard to beat Jay Lethal.
Oh yeah, Jay's awesome.
He's one of the best at what he does. For a fact, that's why he is
from
what he
the
is.
very bottom of Ring of Honor to the World Champion.
Better
He was
believe
holding the 2 titles for a while too.
Better believe it.
And Jay is awesome.
Yep.
I mean, started with Special K.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. So that's it for the New England Championship Wrestling. Sheldon, we're definitely going to get to one of your shows soon, I promise. So let's go to Sunday night. This past Sunday night was Payback.
Oh, man. They're getting better, but I still think there's too many pay-per-views leading up to pay-per-views.
I think so, too. And 3 hours is a long time. And they're not even putting everybody on like that who would want to see. Sasha Banks, where has she been?
What's going on with all right, I understand that you're pushing the women's division. Where the hell is it?
Right.
All you see is Natty against Charlotte.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Natty against Charlotte. Oh, here comes Becky Lynch. I love Becky Lynch.
I do too.
But you put Emma, who just got repackaged, against Becky Lynch.
Yep.
Okay, great. That's great. Where is Paige?
Right. Yeah.
Where is Alicia?
Yeah.
Where is Sasha?
Right. Yeah.
Where is...
And Alicia's gotten so much better too.
And they don't put her on TV.
I know. And she's hot too.
I don't get... She's beautiful.
She is.
Beautiful girl.
Yeah.
When I was down in Florida, I heard that a lot of the locals, WWE, like Charlotte and Natty, they all live in like Tampa or Orlando area. This one, Alicia, buys a house in like Jacksonville. Wow. You know how far Jacksonville is from Orlando?
No.
Well, Jacksonville is that way.
Yeah.
Like you're going back to the tip of Florida.
Okay.
Hours.
Right.
So you're trying to tell me that you bought a beautiful house in Jacksonville and you're going to drive from Jacksonville all the way to the Performance Center? Wow. You better.
Yeah. She's probably staying at someone's house here and there, though. You know what I mean? I would imagine.
She says she doesn't.
Wow.
In a shoot interview, she said, no, I go home. I'm like, you go home? That's dedication if that's legit.
Right.
Because you're seriously going to drive that many hours?
Right.
You're already a professional. You already work for WWE. You work for the top shelf. This isn't like the cheap liquor on the bottom. This is top shelf liquor.
Oh, yeah.
And you buy a house in Jacksonville. Natty buys a beautiful house down in Tampa on that side. I believe it's Trinity on that side where she lives. It's a beautiful area. And you got someone like that who buys hours and hours away.
That's far.
It is far?
You know what I mean?
Well, you figured that when you drive into Florida, you're in the St. Augustine area. That's the tip of Florida, like that side of it. So from the tip of Florida, let's call it St. Augustine, to Orlando, it's like 5 hours. Wow. And you're in Florida.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
From Orlando to Tampa is an hour. Okay, so let's put it like...
So that's not bad. It's like driving into Boston.
Exactly. So you figure Natty and her husband get in the car. They drive 45 minutes to an hour, depending on I-4 or 75 traffic. You go to the Performance Center. This girl, she's got to be driving 3 hours.
Wow, that's a long ride.
God bless her.
Yeah.
But brother, where the hell is she?
Right. She's nowhere. I'm kind of pissed at where's Sasha been.
I know. And
I mean, the fans want her too. That's the thing.
We're going to get into this pay-per-view because that woman's match was horrible.
Right.
The miscalled spots.
Oh yeah.
The Bret Hart didn't even want to be there, man. And you got Nate, who shouldn't have been on camera at the time, but he's smiling like he's seen an old friend come down, which you are, but you still have to play a character.
Right. Yeah.
And he's smiling like, hey, oh my God. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're
They
supposed to be
wouldn't
like, come on, don't come near me. And
right.
of course, Bret walked right by him with his usual hitman attitude, which is he played the role right there. But Nate was smiling, and I'm like, what are you at least got to play a role. Oh, I know.
You heard about they wouldn't let him on an airplane in Boston last week.
It was
last week, or was it the beginning of this week?
It was whenever they did the live show. I think it was like a week or so ago, but I think it was kind of funny that he cut his hand.
It was in the morning, and he's hammered.
He was already. I mean, what was it? 10:30. They said.
Yeah.
He was. Of course, everybody knows Logan because you're from here. The seats go right up to the glass.
Right.
He was leaning into one of the seats that was actually against the wall. And he was tanked at 10:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Tanked.
That's horrible.
But they said whenever the bars open there at Logan, like 9:30, 10 o'clock, whatever the hell it is, he was already at the bar at Logan from the airport, from the hotel.
Right.
Jesus. Man.
That's dedication to drinking. That's dedication to drinking.
Dedication to killing your liver, that's for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Jeez.
All right, let's get into the results. The kickoff show had Dolph Ziggler beating Baron Corbin.
Yes.
Yes, I know you're not a big fan of Baron.
Yes.
I'm not either. I really ain't. But and then U.S. title match, Kalisto defeated Ryback again, and now they're saying Ryback is gone. He's taking some time off until they can figure out what they want to do with him.
He expressed, and you know what?
Hats off to him for at least
You know what? I definitely give him kudos for saying something.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking your mind. But here's the thing. You work for the WWE. If Vince said to me, I want you to go out there and just stand there and get your butt kicked for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, with who? With the ring announcer. Great. Is he going to beat me? Yes. Great.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Just like a regular job, right? Your boss says to you, hey, Derek, you know what I mean? I need you to change change all 4 of those tires. I need it done right now. You go, okay.
Done.
Same thing with me. Leo, you got to go paint this. Hey, Leo, you got to go clean the bathroom. I'm on it. I'm on it.
And I can't understand that you already have a contract, your paychecks, so on and so forth. No offense. I understand, again, because Vince McMahon, WWE is all about gimmicks.
Right.
And he didn't like where his character was going.
Right.
And on that side of it, which you and I can agree with, the way they're using him was Kalisto.
Yeah.
He should be taking Kalisto and throwing him into the 8th row.
Oh, yeah, like Bam Bam did with Spike.
Every time.
Absolutely. I agree.
Why? Because my guys at ECW made the monsters look like monsters.
They're supposed to look like monsters.
And then, for some reason, WWE is totally into the David and Goliath, but David is always going to be over Goliath. Yeah. Which is fine, but at least make Goliath look like a monster.
Right.
Don't make Goliath tap out. Nia Jax, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ryback. Yeah. He couldn't get an offensive move against Kalisto because of Kalisto's smaller, he's bigger. Who cares what the reason is? Yeah. He still should have dominated that whole match. What they should have did is some sort of weird finish where 1, 2, 3, he beat him.
Right.
Beats him clean or whatever it is because of the baby face and the whole thing. But instead, they made Kalisto look like the giant killer. Yeah. I don't get it.
I don't either. And, real quick, they blew it with Brodus Clay years ago when they had him come in.
Oh,
and being a dancing fool. He should have been in like a monster, destroying everybody.
And that's it.
Yep. So now we get to the main show. And the first match was Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy versus the Vaudevillians.
Dude.
In the finals to see who's going to be the number 1 contender to take on the tag team.
I'm getting goosebumps now, man.
And if you saw the show, Enzo Amore went to go slide out of the ring. He hit his head on the second cable. And that's what they are. They're cables. They're not ropes.
They may say they walk through the ropes, but trust me when I tell you, they're
cables.
wrapped in tape, but they are literally hard cables. They're real cables.
And then he smacked his head on the mat, rolled out of the ring, hit his head on the floor there, and the match was stopped. He was loopy. They took him to the hospital. They released him later
He was
on
out
the next morning, and he's fine now. So now they're going to – who knows what they're going to actually do? Did they tell us on Raw?
Yeah, what they did was that, of course, the New Day come out.
Yeah.
Which, if you saw.
Oh, we'll get to that. Let's just finish up these results.
Right,
right,
exactly.
Yeah, we're going to get there anyway.
New Day.
So then the next matchup was Kevin Owens defeated Sami Zayn. That was a good match.
Great match.
You know, I like Sami a lot.
I like them both. Period.
Oh, yeah. Owens is awesome, too. And then we had the Intercontinental title match. We had, it was The Miz versus defeated Cesaro. And after that, we had Dean Ambrose beating Chris Jericho. And then we had the women's title match, like you said, Charlotte with Ric Flair.
Terrible match.
Yeah, defeated Natalya.
Terrible match.
Yeah. And then Mr. McMahon announced that Stephanie and Shane are both going to run Raw.
Together,
yeah.
Yes.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yep.
You know, Triple H is going to be sticking his nose in there somewhere.
Eventually.
So they're code run by both the brother and sister.
Yep.
And then we had the world title match. We had Roman Reigns defeating AJ Styles, where the match was restarted twice.
Right. But you know what? AJ ran that whole match. Roman is not a professional wrestler.
No.
I'm sorry.
I'm not a big fan of Roman.
Neither am I. I understand who his family is, so on and so forth. He's not a great worker. He's not a good wrestler.
No, and he's horrible on the mic, too.
He's terrible on the mic, but you know what?
He's just not believable.
No, not at all. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
If you can't believe the gimmick,
Right.
you got to do something
And
different.
AJ's never been known to be great on the mic, but he's way better than Roman on the mic. Way better.
But in the ring,
Oh, AJ's
forget it.
phenomenal. There's a
There's the
reason
word.
why they say it.
That's why his name is the Phenomenal One,
Yeah.
AJ Styles.
I mean, he's been great like this since the first time I saw him in 2002 at those early Ring of Honor shows. I mean, he was the best wrestler out there.
Definitely
And
was.
Full of great wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had Daniels. You had so many people, so many great wrestlers. All right, let's get to Monday Night Raw. Because we can always talk about great wrestlers after at the end.
Forever and ever. But,
Right.
you know, with Raw, when the New Day come out, we're talking about which was really cool. Whether you're a baby or you're a heel, it was really cool to see them talk about, you know, Enzo get better, so on and so forth, that's a shoot.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
nobody
yeah.
wants to see anyone in the ring, whether you're a baby or a heel, get hurt. And then the Vaudevillain come out and started talking smack about that. Then all of a sudden, the Dudleys come out.
Right.
And then,
Cass.
you know, Big Cass by himself comes out.
Right.
And then they put them all together, which was a great match. I was really hoping for Enzo and Cass to get that push. Right away, I see that, which I do because they're spectacular.
Oh, yeah. And fans love
and
him
they can
already.
Enzo can work the mic like nobody knows.
Oh, yeah. And Big Cass isn't that bad on the mic either. He's really not. Just Enzo's so good. He shines more. But
Exactly.
Big Cass isn't bad.
But he's also 7 feet tall, so he's the monster.
Yeah.
And that's what you know what? We just talked about this. He's the only guy they really use as the monster.
Yeah, right now, yeah. Yeah.
Ryback's a monster. He's 300 pounds. He's a big guy.
He should be used as one.
But
Same
they
thing
don't-
as Rusev.
That's correct, and they don't use him as that. Big Cass,
Yeah.
they use as the monster.
He's good.
And he proves it every time
Right.
in the ring.
And now he hasn't been wrestling long anyways, right?
No.
5 years maybe?
If that.
If that, right?
If that, yeah. He wasn't even an indie guy.
Right.
Wasn't even an indie guy.
Wow.
But that goes to show you where you can go
Right.
if you're legit in what you do.
Right.
His real girlfriend, by the way, Colin Cassidy.
Yeah, Colin Cassidy.
His real girlfriend is Carmella.
Oh, really? In
Yes.
real life? No kidding.
Yes,
She's hot.
She's beautiful, and
She's hot.
she's taking names over in NXT.
Right.
So
And
God bless her.
Can't teach that.
And she still got that gimmick over there too.
Oh, yeah?
Which is good because Carmella, it's the Italian name.
Yes.
She does the thing, and she does a great job of it. But that's his real girlfriend.
awesome.
That's his shoot
Good for him.
That's his shoot
Good
girlfriend.
for him. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see her with Enzo, with that hair of his. But that's neither here nor there. Well, Stephanie starts out Raw. Shane comes out. Kevin Owens comes out.
Yep,
Sandy deserves
yep.
the title match, IC title match,
Yep.
after destroying Sami Zayn. Cesaro comes out and says he deserves a rematch after Owens ruined his match.
Right.
And then The Miz gets The Miz. And then Shane says that they take on each other with the winner being handed the number one,
Yep.
being named the number one contender.
Yep.
So it's Kevin Owens versus Cesaro. Cesaro wins by DQ because the Miz jumps Cesaro during the match. During the match. After the match, Owens and Miz attack Cesaro.
Yep.
Who comes to the rescue but Sami Zayn?
Zayn.
And at the end, everyone's laid out but Sami as he holds up the IC
It's
title.
pretty good.
It looked good. It looked good in his hands.
Looked good on him.
It really did.
Looked good
and
on
you
him.
know he's going to get that title one of these days. I really believe Sami's going to go far. So isn't Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
And you're going to see them having a great WrestleMania match in a couple years from now. I mean, a great match.
You know,
that's going to be known as one of the greatest of all times. You watch.
Let me ask you something about all the new talents coming up from NXT. I wanted to shoot with you for a second on this.
Absolutely.
Do you see any of those guys as a world champion?
Yeah.
Really? Took you long enough to answer.
Yeah, I do. I see Owens.
It took you long enough to answer.
Yeah.
But you see what I mean?
Right.
There's no real heavyweights anymore.
No, there isn't. Never since.
No.
Thank God Daniel Bryan broke that barrier through.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So now we can see the real wrestlers holding titles.
Becoming champions.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
Yes, I agree.
Roman as a name is a champion, and the Shield, those three, have always been Triple H's boys.
Right.
Those were his favorites.
I liked Roman in the Shield. I really did. Because he was protected.
I like their. I mean, I'm not a fan of the ex-champion, the one who's injured right now. I apologize.
Oh, Seth Rollins?
Not a fan.
I love Rollins.
Really?
Yep,
Not
I
a
really
fan.
do.
Keep
I
him
really
off the mic.
do.
Please
I
keep
like
him off the mic. He needs a spokesperson. The kid's terrible on the mic. He's just as bad as Roman on the mic. But I think those three as a cohesive unit were excellent. And when they pulled them all apart, the only one who really shined now, of course, is Dean.
Right.
And do you see Dean being a world champion?
I think down the line he can be, but and the thing is, why aren't they pulling the plug, pushing him even more? Because he's at the cusp, right? Seriously, he's right here where you push him a little more, and he's going to be known as a big
right.
superstar.
Exactly,
just as big as anybody else. You know what I mean?
Right.
The Pipers and the Triple H's, Shawn Michaels, all that. And I think Seth Rollins can get there too. Maybe he's not that great on the mic, you don't think, but in ring, he can work, dude.
He's a worker, and that's what he does. But the thing is that I brought that to your attention because you don't see heavyweights anymore.
Right.
You don't see the Rybacks come through looking for the world title. The guys that should be that big, that size.
Yeah.
They don't breed them like that anymore. They don't. They don't breed them like that.
Cesaro? You think he could be? I think he could be a world champion.
Cesaro
no
should be a world champion.
Yeah, absolutely. He's gotten over everywhere he's worked. Everywhere.
In the pure brute strength of this kid. None of them are getting any younger, okay?
Right.
They bring them up for a reason.
I think he's around 30, 32 years old
and
right now.
That's why when you're bringing up people like AJ Styles and now, okay, real quick, another TNA grab.
Which one's that?
Eric.
Oh, Eric Young.
Yes.
In NXT, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, EY, yep.
Are you kidding me,
that's
man?
That's awesome. Yeah.
I am so
Bobby
excited.
Roode, EY.
I'm so excited about this new real talent.
Yeah.
They were being used over at TNA for nothing.
Right. And he can do everything, Eric Young.
Better believe it.
He can do comedy.
Better believe it.
He could do hardcore if he needed to be.
Yep.
And he can definitely be a technical
Do
wrestler.
anything you want him to do.
Yeah. I'm interested in seeing when he comes up on TV.
Oh, I can't wait for Bobby Roode to come out.
Me too. Me too.
You know,
I can't
Samoa
wait to
Joe.
see they stop pushing Chris Gerard.
Samoa Joe.
Got you, Biff.
Biff, love you, brother. Samoa Joe coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Which I can't believe they're actually going to do it.
Yeah. You know, Joe has really earned that.
Oh,
that
amen.
chance. And I know you know that.
Amen.
He's just been such a workhorse. I remember, again, I keep bringing it up all the time, but the shows I care to bring about. I got to see these guys when they first got their piece of, first shot of superstar with the Ring of Honor, you know? And, I mean, they were superstars.
Better believe it.
I don't care what anybody says. Just because they weren't in WWE or WCW or even ECW.
Yep.
These guys should have been there.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
I agree.
From Christopher Daniels. You know what I mean? All of them.
Yep.
Samoa Joe. Xavier. I don't know if you remember Xavier.
Yes, of course.
You know what I mean? That kid was unreal.
I know.
Low-key. Homicide. The list goes on and on. But let's get through this. and then we can talk about some great
Sure,
wrestlers.
of course.
All right. So backstage, I guess Stephanie runs into Dean Ambrose. She says she'll come out on the Ambrose Asylum show to answer any questions.
Yep.
Backstage, Tyler Breeze and R-Truth. And R-Truth's got a cell phone taped to a stick. Which, I'm sorry, but I love R-Truth because he makes me laugh. I just look at him and I start
Comic
laughing.
relief.
Very comic relief.
Yep.
But, I mean, here he's supposed to have a selfie stick, but he's got a stick with his cell phone taped to
a
it.
tree branch.
Yeah, kind of like with his plunger instead of a scepter.
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
it's
yes.
just classic stuff. I love it.
Yep.
But he's trying to form a team with Tyler Breeze.
Yep.
And Goldust asked Truth if he's trying to make him jealous that he has a partner, and Fandango walks
Another
in.
hometown boy.
Yeah. So now we got in the locker room, AJ's with Carl Anderson and Doc
Yep.
Gallows. Rain comes in and says he respects AJ, but he doesn't respect Gallows and Anderson.
Right.
So next up, we got Tyler Breeze versus Goldust. Tyler Breeze beat him.
Terrible.
I love
Terrible
that
match.
Goldust. I love the gimmick, though.
Terrible
I
match,
always have.
though.
Yeah, no, it wasn't very
Should have
good.
been a real match instead of a gimmick match.
Yeah. So Breeze goes over, which he doesn't win too often.
No.
So it was good to see him get a win.
Definitely.
You know? Up next, the New Day in the ring, and out comes the Vaudevillians.
Yep.
Like you said, the New Day came in and they put over Enzo.
Yep. Good.
You know, saying that they
Salute.
was glad he wasn't hurt.
Yep.
Vaudevillians come out and they put down Enzo.
Of course.
And out come the Dudleys.
Yep.
And they said we should start the tournament over again. And
Of
of
course.
course, that's and out comes Big Cass.
Yep.
And Big Cass isn't too happy with the Vaudevillians.
No matter what.
And they all brawl.
Yep.
And then Shane makes the match.
Yep. Which was a great match.
Yeah, New Day teaming with Big Cass to take on the Vaudevillians and the Dudleys.
Yep.
And that was a good match.
Great match.
I'm telling you right now, the Vaudevillians, when they first came up, I was like, they've already won me over. Didn't take long.
Well,
Seriously.
Coming out of the show.
I love the black and white
Yep.
and all that, and the music. You know what I mean? Like the
Mhm.
old carnival days and the way they stay. It's just awesome. And they've won me over. That's
Right.
all I can say. They really have. And they both can work.
Yep.
So the winners were the New Day and Big Cass.
Yep.
And then we had Becky Lynch, like you had mentioned earlier, taking on Emma. And it was nice to see Emma get the win.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with you on that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I just like to see different people winning.
I
here
do
and
too,
there,
but you know what? Becky deserves to start climbing. You're going to put Emma?
She's had all those
You're going
matches.
to put Emma over her?
Yeah, I hear you, but Emma's pretty hot too. They both are hot.
No.
You like that? Like, what the hell is with that gloves?
I
that
don't
she
know.
wears?
I don't
That's
get it.
Very strange looking.
I don't
gloves.
get it.
But I don't. Did she steal them?
Probably.
Oh,
Probably.
Ah.
Probably.
You don't know that, but she got arrested for shoplifting like a year ago.
It was a cell phone cover.
Yeah.
Like $4.99
Yeah.
cell phone cover.
Yeah.
And she walked out of the store with it
Without paying for it.
without paying for it.
Yeah.
Whether that was her forgetting that she had it or whatever she did, it was BS.
Yeah.
You know
oh
what
yeah.
I mean?
Oh yeah. You didn't
Come
have to
on.
arrest her for that.
Really?
Right. You should have
They
just taken
literally
it back.
put her in cuffs.
Yeah. I know.
It was a $5 piece. I can see if she walked out with a $1,000 piece of jewelry.
Right.
Come on, man. Yeah, but I think she learned her lesson anyway.
I hope she learned a lesson
Stay
because
away from that dumb-
luckily she kept her job.
Well, actually, they did give her some time off.
Yes, but they brought her back though.
Sent her down to NXT
Yes.
to work her way back up.
Right.
Yep.
And then we had the Ambrose Asylum talk show
Yep.
with Stephanie.
Yep.
Blah blah blah. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Then they had the Battle Royal to determine the number one contender for the U.S. title.
Right.
And they had Rusev went over in the end.
I know. I wasn't
Who did you
expecting
throw
that.
at the end, Ryder?
Yeah, well, it was Rusev.
right?
It was Rusev, Sheamus, and Ryder. And Sheamus somehow did something. He was sitting on the apron. Ryder drop kick, boom, out. It was just them two.
Right.
I went at it for another minute or two, and he eliminated Ryder and became the number one contender.
Yeah, so let's see if Kalisto can beat another monster. He's been beating all the other monsters, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So we'll see what happens. But in the ring, Charlotte and Ric Flair come down, and they start talking about the Chicago screw job.
Right. Oh, yes, right.
And calls out referee Charles Robinson, Little Nate.
You forgot about that, about the pay-per-view. That's right. Charlotte.
Oh, that's right.
That's
yeah.
right. You forgot about that.
Yeah. Did I even
Well,
write
because
that down?
everyone, if you're a
I
real
don't even know
wrestling
if I wrote
fan,
that down.
if you're a wrestling fan, you remember they called it the Montreal Screw Job. It was
Right.
when Bret Hart was leaving for WCW, and they didn't want
I
Bret
didn't read it.
to take the title with him,
Right.
which he wasn't.
Well, he wasn't dropping it there. That's all I'll say.
Yeah,
he
but you
wasn't
know
dropping
what?
it in Montreal.
Legit story, man. He says, look, I've had enough here. I'm going to go to WCW. Vince is great. I'm going to show you champion right now. Let's do this. Let me win in Canada, which was the pay-per-view.
Right.
Monday night on Raw, United States. Shawn comes out, gets mad. Boom, boom. We go at it for 40 minutes. Boom, Shawn wins. Vince was like, great. Nope. That's why they called it the Montreal Screwjob.
Right,
As soon as he put him in the sharpshooter, he rang the bell.
Yep.
Well, that match, of course, as soon as Charlotte went for the sharpshooter,
Yep.
Robinson rang the bell.
Right.
So they pretty much tried to redo that
Right.
all.
That's why she was saying, like you said, the
Yes.
Chicago Screwjob.
Yes.
So Charlotte asked Charles if his relationship with the Flairs had anything to do
Right.
with it, and of course, right away he says yes. Then he says no.
Right.
But then Charlotte says the referee's decision is final. Natalia comes down, has a little, words with
Yep.
Charlotte, knocks Charlotte down, kicks her out of the ring, slaps Ric Flair, and puts the sharpshooter on Ric Flair. That was pretty cool, as Charlotte pulls her father to save her.
Right.
Excuse me. Backstage, the Flairs run into Stephanie, who says that at Extreme Rules, Charlotte would defend the title again against Natty, and Rick is banned from ringside.
Right.
Let's see if Charlotte can hold on to the title without her father being at ringside.
Well, let's hope Natty can bring her A game because her matches have been horrible.
Oh, yeah. Where's Sasha? I'm
Again.
sorry, but I'm just going to keep
Again.
saying it. Where is she?
Again.
Why isn't she on TV when the whole place wants her? They chant for her, and you don't give us what we want.
What are they doing with her?
Nothing.
I don't
I
get
think
it.
she's getting a little discouraged, too. That's what
She
I heard.
better not be. I hope someone's over there. I hope one of our guys is over there,
Right.
giving her a boot in the ass because
She's just, you can't blame her for being
No,
discouraged.
but-
I don't think she's like going out of her way to make it worse for herself.
No.
But she is discouraged that she's not being used.
exactly. But you know what? Someone like her with her persona, her stamina, the way she does things.
Right.
Hopefully, one of our guys over there to boot her in the ass and say, "Hey, listen, you're
in
here.
there. Yeah.
You're
Hang in
already
there.
here.
Right.
Give it a minute.
Right.
Trust me. Maybe Corrado, maybe one of these guys will give her a little
Right.
boot.
Do you
I'm
think
hoping.
Do you think it could be to see how she reacts too?
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Everything's a test.
Right.
Everything's a test.
She's such a good worker.
Why would you not want this girl on
Right.
Raw?
Exactly. She should be on every week.
And she can't be a heel.
Right, because the fans won't
They
allow
love
it. They
her.
love her. I know.
When that music hits, bro, you can't hear the announcers.
Right.
And she can still play her role and play her gimmick.
Oh yeah.
They cannot. The fans won't let her
Yeah.
be
Right now,
the
exactly.
heel. No.
because she's way too popular.
Nope.
But so then we had let's see, AJ, Doc, and Carl.
Oh,
Carl
right.
Anderson, Doc Gallows, and
Right.
AJ Styles took on the Usos and Roman Reigns.
Yep.
And very happily, AJ and Doc and Carl Anderson went over.
Yes.
So that's Raw.
That's what I like.
So let's start talking about some phenomenal wrestlers like AJ Styles.
Definitely.
And back, like I said, back in 2002 at the Ring of Honor shows that I catered, I already said they had Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Homicide, Low Key, Xavier, BJ Whitmer,
Yep.
Dan Moff,
Yep.
the Backseat Boys,
Yep.
SAT, Amazing Red. I mean, it was incredible.
Yep.
The lineup of talent they had.
It was nuts.
And then, like I said, too, the lower tier talent they had, Dunn and Marcos, who could work, like Ring Crew Express.
Yep.
Loved their gimmick. They kind of like Biff and Ted.
Yes, right.
It was awesome.
Yep.
You had Special K, which is one of my favorite gimmicks, besides the Boogeyman.
Right.
My favorite gimmick in wrestling, I shouldn't even say that. I love the Boogeyman. I love the Goldust character. But my favorite gimmick of all time was Special K
Okay.
from Ring of Honor.
Yep.
A bunch of spoiled little rich kids spending their parents' money
Yep.
on booze and drugs and
Yep.
having raves.
Right.
And to this day, I still tell Jonathan Carrion, who played Deranged,
Yep.
I tell him how much I love that gimmick. And he was one of the main guys why I liked it.
Right.
I remember I watched a videotape of him in a Jersey All-Pro ring, and they didn't know who their opponents were. And out comes the Hit Squad.
Yep.
And I'll never forget it. And it's just a simple little line, but the way he delivered it. These guys again? Like he was so scared
Right.
that they were going to get, I always got to fight these guys.
And he played the role.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
He was very small, but I think it was a second or third match. Fat Frank at Jersey Pro gave him the lightweight title. I mean, that kid could work. He ended up being a rapper. You know that, right?
Right.
Element.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, I'm not a huge rap fan, but I've listened to some of his stuff, and it's pretty good. Now he's back wrestling with a mask called Indigo Child.
Right.
So I expect to see this kid. Hopefully Beyond will stop booking him or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, because he can work. He's really, really good. And Jay Lethal was in that group.
One of my favorites.
Azrael was in that group.
Wow, okay.
Insane Dragon and his brother Dixie were in that group. And I mean, then they broke them up and split them apart. And, you know, but Doug Gentry, the late, great Doug Gentry, Rob's friend, and Gabe Sapolsky, but that was Doug's gimmick.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, man, it was a great gimmick. The raves. Then they had the girls in the group, you know, Lacey, Becky Bayless.
Yep.
And then they'd bring other guys in here and they're like, Slim J. And who else was in that? Ash, a good buddy of mine, Ash Samuels. I don't know if you know Ash. I talked to Ash quite a bit on Facebook. Real great kid. Keeps telling me that if he ever wins the lottery, he's going to buy me a restaurant. So I'm holding you to that, Ash. And I hope you've been watching the show.
That's right.
I'm going to let you know we talked about you. But, yeah, he played lit. And I'll tell you, the only time I wasn't believable, Ash, though, was one time you were, like, sniffing up your nose, and you were doing it every 2 seconds. You should have taken your time with it. You know what I mean? Like, here and there, not – it was like always looking in the camera. But he was good, but he was young. He was young. They all were young. And Jay Lethal is now the Ring of Honor World Champion.
One of my favorites. One of my favorites forever. First met Jay, very humble guy, very, you know, just laid back and just very quiet. And just an unbelievable technical wrestler.
Oh yeah, he's Jersey All-Pro kid. Yep. You know, and I didn't even mention some other guys that were really good in the Ring of Honor days. You had like I said, B.J. Whitman. What about Colt Cabana? CM Punk.
Definitely.
They both did that. Raven was in Ring of Honor. He had that big feud with CM Punk.
Yeah.
That actually was a pretty good feud. And they had a cage match in, I think it was at Framingham. Might have been Framingham. But they had a really good match. Who else was in the Ring of Honor back then? Chad Collier, you know Chad from Ohio, from the like Heartland Wrestling.
Oh yeah.
Chad, Matt Stryker, not the one that worked in the WWE, Unibrow Matt Stryker, who was one of the nicest guys. I remember walking in one day, and, you know, do the catering, and all of a sudden I'm like this. I'm like, you know, who's got me in a full Nelson? He lets me go, and it was Matt Stryker. He's like, "What's up, kid? What's on the menu?" But just great group guys. It had to have been like an ECW locker room in a way because these guys really liked each other. Now, don't get me wrong. I wasn't in the locker rooms. Like right. Sometimes one of the locker rooms at one of the places, their kitchen was right there, so they were in the locker room eating. You know what I mean? But there's so many good wrestlers that went through there back then.
I mean, Ring of Honor definitely does a great job. They have a great, you know, base of what they do, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again, that you better believe the powers to be are watching Ring of Honor.
Oh yeah.
And why Jay Lethal hasn't worked for Vince yet? Why hasn't the Machine Guns worked for Vince yet?
Right.
Which I'm hoping to God that they're bringing more tag teams out, which you notice they are.
Yeah.
I hope they bring more tag teams into WWE because tag team action is just so quick and so random and so it's
exciting.
It's exciting. Thank you for the word. Thank you for the word. It is very exciting when you watch a tag team match. And you know, the New Day definitely does a great job of what they do. Can you believe the New Day's been doing that for 2 years now?
Yeah, I know. But for a year, it didn't look like they were going to make it.
I just can't believe
it. You know what I mean? As a group, it didn't look like they were going to. They stuck it out.
I can't believe 2 years, man.
I love the way they banter with each other. I think it's great.
The little vignettes.
Kofi with the skipping.
Yep.
I mean, it really is. It took a while for me to like them too, because at first I was like a lot of people. Hell is this crap?
This is dumb.
Yeah.
Right.
As time went on, they got better and better. Kind of like me and you, kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? Honestly, like Dick tells us all the time, our producers, you know, you're getting better and better and better. And that's what you do. You get better and better the more you do it.
Amen.
Trying to think, okay, Ring of Honor still, to this day now, Roderick Strong.
Yep.
Great wrestler. You know, back then they had Jack Evans. Teddy Hart was there. My boy Tony DeVito and H.C. Loke from ECW days. Those guys were incredible. The Carnage Group, one of my favorite tag teams. Tony talked about you too, so you better watch the show. But I was bummed out because he had told me he was going to be at the show in Philly, and then he ended up not coming.
I know.
Down there. I was really bumming. I was looking forward to seeing him because I'll never forget one time, the first show I catered for Tommy. I'm in the kitchen, right, cooking the food, and I hear Tony's got a distinct voice, right? Whoa, Dreamer, you got catering. So I go to the door, and I just wait, and he comes walking by. He's like, Leo, I should have known it was you. But, yeah, Tony and Loke was a great tag team. They had a match against Izzy and Dixie, the brothers, the Brower brothers.
Right.
And it was a country whipping match. And I'll never forget, this is the only time I actually used my access for something cool.
Right.
They were standing on the ring apron, okay? Not the Carnage Crew, the other guys. And the blood was just like gushing out. So I ran to the back as soon as they came in. I don't know if you must have seen it. I posted pictures before. Took a couple pictures, and the blood was just everywhere. And it's so funny, whenever I post it, my mother's always like, do you have to post that picture again? Like, sorry, Ma, you know what I mean? But I love that picture.
I miss gigging, man.
I'll tell you, man, that match was incredible. There was a lot of good matches in Ring of Honor, as there are now, still to this day. Like the Truth Martini.
Yep.
He's managing Jay Lethal along with.
Right. Yes.
He was managing Dijak, but Dijak put him in the hospital, they're saying, and now Dijak's with Prince Nana, who I love.
Yep.
What a great gimmick that guy
Definitely.
had. The only time I ever saw somebody with him that I didn't agree with was when John Walters was with him.
Yeah.
It just didn't.
I know.
I just never really saw John as a heel back then.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I've seen some of the stuff he did as R.J. Brewer.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, wow, he was definitely a heel.
Definitely.
But I didn't see it early in his career, like when he was in Ring of Honor.
Yep.
He won the Pure title. I mean, he had some great matches. He wrestled Punk, AJ. He wrestled everybody over there. But
another hidden talent.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I guess I just read on Facebook he's coming back home for a couple months.
Oh.
Really good wrestler. He's good friends with Kevin Matthews, too.
Oh, yeah.
Down in Jersey.
Yep.
But, and Kenny Omega's another friend of Kevin's, too. He's the leader of the Bullet Club now.
Oh, right.
In Japan.
Yes, that's right.
He plays a role like the cleaner.
Yes.
Along with the Young Bucks.
Great job.
Yeah.
I happened to catch I never get a chance to catch Ring of Honor. I actually got a chance to catch it when it was actually on.
Okay.
That kid does a great job, man.
Which one?
His gimmick. The cleaner?
Oh, the cleaner. Yeah,
What a great gimmick.
Yeah, it is a great gimmick.
What a great gimmick, and they hate him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you see when he wrestled that little girl?
Yes.
I mean, that was kind of silly and all that, but honestly and truthfully, the little girl did not get hurt.
Nope. And you know
what?
what?
Pretty good.
He made her look like a champion.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that kid can work. If he's not one of the best wrestlers in the world right now, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He really is. He's got to be in the top 5. You got him, AJ Owens.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Roderick Strong, Jay Lethal. Those guys, Mike Bennett.
Yes.
Really, I mean, unbelievable.
Bennett's
talent.
over at TNA now, right?
Yes, he is.
Him and Maria.
Him and his wife.
His shoot wife. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Maria, originally from WWE.
Yep. You got any plugs?
I know you're a smoker.
Yeah.
But I'm a cigar smoker. For all your cigar needs, please look up Castro's Back Room. 4 locations. Eric Kilbane, the owner. Unbelievable guy. Knows his stuff when it comes to smokes. Plus, you might run into me. Have a smoke with me when you get there. You'll hang out the one in Nashua because it's close because we're right here, of course. But Castro's Back Room, 4 locations. Check them out, please.
Nice. I got a quick plug, too. Milano's Pizza and Restaurant, 1 Broad Street. Phone number 603-883-6610. Tell Frank, Georgie, and Jenny that Leo sent you. And for that, we're out. Peace.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.